Okay, it's discussion part 2. Hopefully you can hear me this time. Alright. So, since we talked about are tattoos art, let's talk about good and bad design. Now, I want you to take a look at these. These are all American tattoos. I'm going to have to pass them around. Which ones seem ridiculous to you? Which ones are you like, oh my god, why would someone get that? Or which ones look really poorly done? Do any of them look really poorly done?
I don't think any of them look particularly poorly done. I don't think I'd get any of these on my body.
Okay. Which one do you think is the most ridiculous out of all those? My personal opinion, Leonidas playing the accordion.
Yeah. Kind of,
why would anyone get that? You wonder, you know?
I'm with Stumpy, like, I actually kind of feel like that isn't really that ridiculous because if I had lost a leg, I might be kind of, like, humorous about it as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, losing your leg is permanent, but yeah, the fact that you can have a sense of humor.
I feel like that kind of, like, portrays, like, a sense of humor.
Now, take a look at them again. Consider these people lived to the age of 70. Which ones do you think would have regrets? Or would none of them?
Yeah, I feel like the skeleton on the back.
Uh-huh. Now, there are people that get those giant angel wings on the back, too.
Oh, yeah,
Some people get them because they just assume or reason that they're going to die young and what's it going to matter, you know. But, I mean, if they do live, you know. Also, placement. You got to be careful. You have the hummingbird, but I always joked with girls. You always want to be smart where you put your tattoos. Because if you're not, you'll have a hummingbird at 20 and a flamingo at 50.
That's why I don't have anything on my stomach. Because I've already had a child, and I know what it did to my stomach the first time.
Exactly.
I would never have, like, and I'm even, like, careful about going past, like, my ribs on my back because I have stretch marks back there, too, so, like.
Exactly. Anywhere, the best place from what people tell me is the
shoulders and arms.
Yep, because it's the tightest skin. Also, higher back isn't so bad, lower back is.
Yep.
I think the guy playing the accordion, I don't know what his name is, but I know he's from the 300.
Yeah, Leonidas.
I think that's kind of ridiculous. And I think the one with the, like, bird or even
Phoenix
down,
head?
Yeah, going down towards the personal area. I think that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, because what that portrays.
But the placement actually isn't too bad. It's not, I don't think that it's purposely meant to portray that. Now, there are some tattoos that do. There are some tattoos that people get that purposely, you know, point, saying, look at me, you know, and doing that to personal areas. But I don't think that one in particular does. But yes, the placement is kind of a difficult placement.
I have a few friends with, like, tattoos right there, and I don't think that they are, like, necessarily.
And I don't think any of them are necessarily poorly done. I think they're really good.
So, again, yeah, good and bad design is all perspective as well, you know. There are some that look like they were, now there are some, and I did post a link. There is, you know how there's like Fail Blog and LOL Cats?
Yeah.
They have one for bad tattoos.
Do they?
Now, if you looked at the announcements in the original thing I posted, there's that tattoo of Wolverine riding the back of My Little Pony.
Yeah, I saw that.
Is that good or bad design? The artwork's not that bad, but why would, again, like Leonidas playing the accordion, why would someone get that?
If there's a meaning behind it to that person, I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, ridiculous and not ridiculous tattoos, I mean, that's kind of, like you said earlier, in the eye of the beholder. Because, like, if I got, like, I don't know, a clown or something like that, you know, I think that, for me personally, would be kind of ridiculous because I'm terrified of clowns. But, like, I think, like, if someone else got a clown, it could mean something personal to them.
Yeah,
you know?
like maybe they've actually been a professional clown for 50 years, you know? You never, or they like Insane Clown Posse, who knows? But there are some, you know, does you get what you pay for. Is that part of the equation?
No, I don't think so. I don't really.
I
think
would
they're
agree.
not.
I think yes.
For example, there's a picture out. You guys know what Grumpy Cat is, right?
Yes.
No. You know, just. There is a picture on the internet where it puts two tattoos, each of Grumpy Cat, together. One is really cartoony, not very much detail. You can kind of make out that it's Grumpy Cat. $50. The next one, which was about $500, it's a really defined Grumpy Cat. It has the fur
Everything's
detail.
pretty,
It looks like a realistic cat for $500.
I think that.
You get what you pay for, sort
I
of
feel
thing.
like you should. I feel like money shouldn't be an option when you're like thinking about something, putting something on your body for the rest of your life. When I go into the tattoo parlor, I tell them what I want. I tell them exactly where I want it, how big I want it. Then I ask them how much it's gonna cost me. Like I don't worry. Like I don't tell them this is how much I want to spend and this is what I want.
Yeah, but here's the thing: quality, though. Quality over quantity. I mean, you want a decent quality tattoo. There are some really horribly done tattoos out there because the art is just. It's like a fourth grader took up
But I feel
took
like
up an ink pen and did
I
it.
feel like that depends on who you pick to do your tattoo, though.
Mhm.
Like I don't think it.
That and some older tattoos, like you can actually find photographs of men and women from the 1900s up to about 1930s and 40s that have tattoos. They look like really refined women, but they have the tattoos. There weren't many artists that did it back in the day, and some artists were still good, but some of it was actually still very rough and very raw because there really was no technique back then. But some people who claim that they're tattoo artists and whatnot, I mean, like anyone who got their tattoo done in prison, there's really no technique. I mean, you do it with an ink pen and any sharp object you can find. But when it comes to amateurs or someone that actually hasn't done the training or ever been to art school doing it, would you trust them than the other guy who actually has an art degree?
No, I would trust the guy with dark.
Exactly. It's it's something you want to. I would think it would be something you want to research because if you're putting
I look
it.
at people's portfolios. Like,
Yeah.
Like my mom's first tattoo was by a guy who owned a tattoo gun, but he wasn't a licensed tattooist. And it was in her, they did it actually while she was at work in the break room. And it's a really good tattoo, but I told her it needs redone because it's like yours, but it's only one sword going through the heart, and it's got a rose called around it.
Mhm.
And it was her first tattoo, and it was okay, but it needs redone. Well, her other tattoos are by my uncle, who was a licensed tattoo artist, but he didn't own a shop. But he was still licensed, and they're really good.
Mhm.
I mean, I think what it is, I don't think it should be if you own a shop or not. I think it should be if you have a license and you use proper sanitization, then I think that should be part of the factor. As long as you use proper sanitization and have a license.
I also think though that like I would never like with my tree. I would never go to somebody who didn't like already draw trees. Like I wouldn't go to somebody who didn't have never done a tree before.
Yeah, you want to do your research as
Like,
to what they're good
If
at.
I want a computer on me, I'm not gonna go to somebody who does nature work. Like I feel like every artist
Some
has
people are
their-
good at all different sorts of stuff, but there's some people that do specialization. I know a guy that does specialization with the Japanese brushwork, but he can't do anything cartoonish. He hates
I've seen
cartooning.
some really pretty lotus flowers.
All right, and talked about that. What are legal and rights issues when it comes to tattoos? For example, you know the Hangover movies?
Yeah.
Yep.
In Hangover 2, the guys making the movies got sued by Mike Tyson, who was in the first one. Reason being is in the second movie, the
one guy.
dentist gets
Mike
Tyson's tattoo on his face. What people didn't realize was that that tattoo is actually protected by copyright law. They used it without permission or without paying for the rights to use it, and it was Mike Tyson's. But the irony of that is Mike Tyson's tattoo actually, there's an argument whether it should or should not have copyright law, because that specific tattoo design is actually a Maori design. It's a Maori tribal design that was taken from someone who had that design that was part of Maori and that was part of their heritage. Like I said again, with the identity theft, you know, if you have something from your culture that identifies you with that culture, and then someone gets the exact same thing, is it or is it not considered identity theft?
I think it is.
It's something to consider. I left a link in there for you
I would
guys
be
to
really
look at
mad
about
if
that.
somebody went and like saw my tattoo and was like, "Oh, that's really cute. I'm gonna go get the exact same thing." I
Exactly.
would be really
There's,
angry.
you know, and there's a link about that too, about what you should consider when you do get a tattoo. Like, if you see something on the internet that you really like and go, "Oh my God, I want that exact same one."
I know my best friend was like, "Oh, it's on Pinterest. It's so cute," and I was like, "Do you know how many other people probably have that tattoo?"
Exactly. And some people see it as a form of flattery. Some don't. That's why I usually tell people, if you want to get a tattoo, either design it yourself
I've had all
or
ones.
have someone design it for you that's where it's similar to what you like, but a little different to where it's you. Like mine. I actually designed, there's so many different designs for hearts and swords, but I specifically designed mine. I designed what the sword handles were going to look like, what position they were in, what size of heart, and the wings behind it. There's so many different types of liberation wings. I designed my own to make it different so that no one else would have that exact same tattoo.
For my olive tree, I brought in 3 different drawings and had him like
Combine?
sketch it. Something I told him, I was like, I like the trunk on this one, I like the roots on this one, and I like the leaves on this one. My birds, I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory. Like, you can't really do a lot with that. But the hummingbird, I showed him a few different designs, and obviously, like my dog's paw prints, you can't really stray as much.
But let's just say you're getting licensed characters on your body, like that Wolverine riding the back of My Little Pony. They're both licensed characters.
Is that allowed?
That's a good question. Is it or is it not? Because are the tattoo artists paying the rights to use those characters to tattoo on you? Are you? There's a link about that, whether or not that is, you know, a safe thing to do or not. There's also a law case about is it acceptable or not at work. I added that in. It's something to think about when getting a tattoo. You want to make sure that what you're getting is okay and not, you won't get in much trouble for it, let alone legal trouble, you know. But yeah, I'm one with copying other people's work. I like it if you get something similar. Like, for example, the Leonidas with the accordion. All right, in case you guys don't know what we're talking about, I don't know how to get that. Nope, it's gonna be blurry. But it's Leonidas from 300 playing an accordion. If you were to get that tattoo, you know, 300s of film and everything, and someone, you know, wanted that exact same tattoo, I know, like, who would want that, right? How would you feel about that, you know? And it's like the exact same thing. Wouldn't you want it to be different? What if he was playing a saxophone instead? That would probably be me. If I had to have a choice, I'd keep Leonidas, but I'd give him a saxophone instead, and sunglasses.
Change it around.
It changed it around a bit, because it's more like me, because, I mean, I play saxophone, and it's an angry-looking guy yelling, "This is Sparta," as he kicks you in a pit. You know, I would think that you would want something different. Well, it's the same with the armor one, same with the skeleton one.
You know how everybody gets the infinity signs on them right now?
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys at the tattoo shop has infinity with fart in it because nobody else has.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing about copying. There's people who have secret societies that they get their own tattoos for the secret societies. Well, if people start getting that same tattoo that aren't in the secret society, it causes problems, you know? Like, If you decide to get a tattoo of rainbows and unicorns as your secret society, the Society of Rainbows and Unicorns, and then other people happen to have similar tattoos or even the same tattoo, and you confuse them for someone in the society, your secrets are blown. I mean, wouldn't that, be an issue? That's why the Yakuza do what they do, depending on where you get the tattoo and what you get it of, and the color scheme.
Yeah.
That all depends. That all makes it depend. And usually with the Yakuza, you get the same tattoo artist to do your entire thing. You never switch around tattoo artists.
Yeah, that's like with my rainbow coming through my skin. That's part of the LGBT society, And as long as you're a supporter, I say that's okay if you get it. But if you don't support it, why are you gonna get,
It's kind of funny that all the questions I've asked somewhat have to do with perspective. There are a couple of statistics, there are a couple of things that are factual, but some things are perspective. For example, are tattoos linked to deviant behavior? Now, there are researches, even one from Texas University, that say the more tattoos students have, the more they're linked to deviant behavior, like, theft, gangs, heavy drug use, all that stuff that, the Bible Belt's terrified of. But is it really? I mean,
I think
my friend with 26 tattoos, nothing, no criminal record, nothing. She doesn't even have a speeding ticket.
I don't have anything on my record, and I think it's just like something that it's kind of a
Assumption?
stereotype.
Yeah, stereotype.
Like I feel like in like 10 years, with the amount of people that get tattoos nowadays, in 10 years from now, it's not going to be a big deal whether you have a tattoo or not.
Do you think culturally it's becoming more and more acceptable? Like there's the Kat Von D, there are tattoo shows now. There's
I completely agree with
like
that.
the Baby Mama shows on MTV. There are now ones about tattooing.
Yep.
There are a couple in Canada. There's one in Australia where you can actually volunteer to be a human canvas. Would you do it?
No.
You can actually tell them what you want.
No.
But would you do it? No?
No.
All right. Because I signed up.
Well, I might if I had already seen some of their stuff, but like I'm really kind of picky about.
Yeah, and they have expos. They have expos and stuff and whatnot. But do you think now with more and more people at least have one tattoo now? And not everybody wants them, You shouldn't have to feel like you have to have one.
Oh no.
But do you think as a cultural and as a society in the U.S., it's becoming more acceptable than it was 50 years ago?
Yes.
Why?
Because more people get them. Like now it's not completely linked to deviant behavior, it's more linked to just like tattoos. Like people are just getting them because, like for whether you say like more memorabilia or like children, whatever, that kind of stuff. It's not necessarily linked to like jail and criminals
And some people see the art in them. Now there are those that claim that they're not art, and I did put links into the people that don't think they're art. But I did put in links to people that do think they're art. It's all a matter of perspective, but I think nowadays that there are more good reasons than against the bad that people perceive.
See, what I say, it's like you just said pretty much, but if you want to get a tattoo, then get a tattoo. If you want to get, say, I don't know, someone shooting out. If you want to get that, then get that. But, I may think it's ridiculous,
Yeah.
but you may not. So, I think that if you want a tattoo, you should get one, and if you don't, you shouldn't get one.
And getting them removed is painful, but some people do consider them mistakes, some don't. But again, it's I think for most part it's all about proper planning. Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree.
Just to do your research.
The only show I wouldn't go on would be the Tattoo Nightmare show. Because
Lord,
if I
no.
got a messed up tattoo, I wouldn't want to show that around. I mean, that's ridiculous.
I think in 60 years I'll be happy with my tattoos.
Me too. I think with mine, yeah. As long as I just plan them out smart, I think I'll be
As long as
okay.
like they all mean something to me, I don't think I'll ever be like, man, I really shouldn't have gotten that.
All right. Well, thank you for joining the tattoo discussion. So I will get everything to you, and I'll explain some things in a little bit. But thanks for coming in, guys.